Good evening and welcome everybody to the Paranormal Sisterhood, a spiritual journey show tonight. We have a special guest with us, and we're gonna get to talking to him here in just a few minutes. His name is Adam Manasco, and I think you'll find tonight's show pretty interesting because if we can get the pictures up and everything that Sister Mary has sent to our producer, then we're going to show Adam some new evidence that he has not seen about Camp 31. So let's go ahead and get our announcements and stuff ready. Let me say welcome, sisters. How are y'all
Welcome.
tonight?
Well,
Good.
That's good.
just fine.
No, okay. Well, we're missing Sister Sandy tonight because she had a previous engagement that she had to be at. So she's not with us, and we want her to know that we definitely miss her. But let's get the sponsors and all the announcements and stuff out of the way first, and then we'll get into the show. First of all, we want to announce the Paracomic Con, which is September the 14th and 15th. It is the Deep South Paracomic Con in Ozark, Alabama, and it is horror themed this year. So we are looking forward to it. Anything horror and scary is right up our alley anyway. And we love things like that. So the sisterhood is looking forward to experiencing a lot of really cool things this year, and we'll have more info as far as the not sponsors, but the guests that'll be there, and some of the other things and activities on another show to let y'all know that you got to be there. Okay, and remember it's September the 14th and the 15th, so write that on your calendar. Now, getting into our sponsors, we got Rogue Turtle in Enterprise, Alabama, and that is Aaron and Ryan. They are at 202 South Main Street. And if you have not been to their little shop, I tell you what, you need to make a day and go in and visit with them and look at all the beautiful things that they have. I visit them all the time, and this is the kind of stuff here. Beautiful crystals that Aaron and Ryan sell, and they sell little mortar and pedestals, for grinding up your herbs when you're cooking and whatnot, and just all kinds of really great little things. So go and see Aaron and Ryan at the Rogue Turtle. All right, Camp 31, which is our guest that we have with us tonight. They are a sponsor with us as well, and they are an amazing barbecue place. And not only barbecue, they have really good buffets that you can go, and on Friday and Saturday nights they have seafood buffets, and they are out of this world, and that is in Bruton, Alabama. Adam, what's your address there?
It is 222 St. Joseph Avenue.
Okay, 222 St. Joseph Avenue. You need to go there and see Adam and Mr. Larry. They are co-partners again. And I'm telling you, it is an amazing place to eat. And I won't eat a steak unless Adam cooks it for me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That man is the steak king, let me tell you. Best steak I've ever had, Adam fixed for me there one day. So y'all go to Camp 31 in Bruton, Alabama, and get you some good food and tell Adam that the Paranormal Sisterhood sent y'all, okay? We've got Kitchen Witchin', which is our dear sister Sylvia. Tell me a little bit about your business there, baby girl.
I make a lot of preserves and homemade preserves and pickles, anything you can think of. I even did some Brussels sprout pickles, which really ended up being really delicious. But any kind
Wow.
of jellies and jams, and then I'm also doing the sublimation tumblers that have the wraps on them, and those are under the name of Lucky Cups. And
Lucky Cups.
I will have those at the Paracomic Con as well.
Those are awesome. Well, I've been her taste tester, and let me tell you, everything she has allowed me to taste for her, it has been delicious. So if you want some good things like that along that line, preserves and jams and jellies and stuff, look up Sister Sylvia. All right, we've got, let's see. Of course, this should have been first. Webb Radio Network. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm losing my phone here. Web Radio Network, which is Teresa and Stan Fikes. We would not be able to do what we do if not for the two of them. And let me tell you, they are busy, busy people all the time. They are working on the Paracomic-Con for this year and getting everything organized. And they also do all of our radio shows for us weekly and nightly. So we want to thank them from the bottoms of our hearts, because if not for them, we would not be able to do what we do. So y'all give them a follow on their page. And they also have Webb Paranormal Group, and they are out always doing investigations and things of that nature. So y'all give them a follow, okay? Then we got DVT Tumblers, Katie and Austin. They make tumblers and bags and coin purses and shirts, all kinds of different things. So y'all be sure and give DVT Tumblers a hi and follow them as well. 50 Shades of Fizz, that's my beautiful daughter, and she is a BP rep with Fizzy Bombs that has some of the most beautiful jewelry in it, and it is very inexpensive, and it is jewelry store quality. Okay, so y'all look up 50 Shades of Fizz with my daughter, Brittany Gray. Of course, Shadow Chasers Paranormal, that's my team. And we're jumping on board and sponsoring the Paranormal Sisterhood as well, doing everything that we can to keep us afloat and just be a sister company to the Paranormal Sisterhood. We got Spooky Booze with our sister Sandy. She's on board sponsoring us as well, and she does the same thing. Let me clarify what she does. She is not an investigator. She is a white lighter, and she is a healer, and she goes in and she helps to have the souls pass over. So if you're having problems like that, of that nature, and you feel like there's something there, Spooky Booze is the girl, Sandy, that you need, our sister, you need to get in touch with, because she's amazing with what she does, and we love her with all our hearts. Witchy Wands, that's me. I create wands and all kinds of different things for resale. Let me show you one thing here that we'll be having at the Paracomic-Con. If you can see that sort of thing. It's a little broom. So different things like that I create, and I'm a sponsor for us as well. So and then the last but not least, there's two things. I forgot the name of your business. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. What is it again?
It's retro decomposed.
There we go. Okay, tell them about that.
I am a huge Universal Monsters fan, and so a lot
Yeah.
of my stuff will be Universal Monsters based. And I check all my copyrights to make sure that I'm in league and that everything is kosher. I will also be pressing shirts, and I will also have some teas, some designer teas to drink.
Ooh, I can't wait to get me some tea. She makes some really great teas, and she tells me all the time, you need to drink this and you need to drink that. And she's very well versed in the teas and how to de-stress with chamomile, and I mean, all kinds of other things. So be sure and check out Sister Mary with her Retro Decomposed. And I think, no, the Rawls. They come on board with us when we had our sisterhood weekend the other weekend, and the Rawls, we stopped to eat. Mary had pre-arranged a afternoon with us sisters to eat there, and it is amazing. We met the director of food and beverage, which is William Ingram, and the chef, which is Dawn Sabath. And they were just amazing people. Y'all stop at the Rawls in Enterprise, Alabama. It's just a couple of doors up from Rogue Turtle. So go visit Rogue Turtle and then skip over to the Rawls to eat a wonderful meal and enjoy the ambiance of the hotel. It is, gosh, you feel like you've stepped back in time when you go into the Rawls. So y'all just go over there and tell them the sisterhood sent you. All right, that's all of our sponsors. The sponsor list is growing, you guys. That's awesome. And so now tonight, we want to welcome Adam Manasco from Camp 31 in Bruton, Alabama. He is in charge of the restaurant there and also the hourglass that is attached to the building. And let me tell y'all, I've had the pleasure of being with Adam and knowing Adam for a few years now, and he's allowed shadow chasers to go up there and investigate the old building, which is called the Hourglass behind the restaurant. And let me tell you, we got some of the most amazing evidence that we have ever captured there. A lot of antiques were there to begin with, and because it was kind of like a storage building, and now it's even better to me. The antiques have been moved. Let me say that most of them have, and so some of the antiques had attachments. I know that for sure, and some of the energy has gone with those antiques when Adam had them moved, but the place is still active and it is, what would you say, Adam? A speakeasy, or you want to
Another,
describe the hourglass?
it's, our, there's 2 floors, well, really 3, but 2 we use all the time. That the bottom floor we use for most wedding venues, parties like that. The second floor is what we call City View.
Mm-hmm.
It has a chapel in it, and it also more of a finer dining, special occasion type things that a little more elegant.
Yeah.
Has a big balcony out. You go outside, it's probably 25 feet off the ground and gives you an unbelievable view of the city. This is where, we came up with City View. And, recently we've been doing some construction and we've actually cut through the wall between the Hourglass and Camp 31, added a new freezer where the vault was. So now
Okay.
that's kind of a walk-in freezer. Every time I go over there, I hear or somebody call my name or hear something on the 3rd floor. It's not crazy active like it was originally,
Right.
like I said, with all the attachments and, but for sure, I would say there's probably at least 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
there with the lady in black, Anna.
Yeah.
I would think the little boy Rusty, because
Mm-hmm.
it's too much. Like you can hear little pitter patter of feet, not long strides, and some giggling up on the City View.
Yeah.
The chair dragging up there is always. If you stay there long enough, you're going to hear a chair get dragged across the floor.
Right.
But I would have to say, of course, the 3rd floor is where we have captured so much with pictures. With I would have to think that was Rusty, the little boy. Little
Yep.
ghost boy that I, show people all the time. That place isn't haunted. And I show them that picture and they're like, wow. And I said, and it was pitch black when we took that picture. I said, that was just,
Mm-hmm.
we stepped off the elevator and he said, hey, let me take a picture. And when he showed it to me over his shoulder, and he took it and showed it to me. I mean, there's no way to, to add in anything. It was an instant. He took it and showed it to me. And it was there. And it was like incredible. Through all some of the, I guess, different, spirit box and different things, from them calling, what my grandkids call me Big Daddy,
Yeah.
to me, that's when, they ain't speaking to anybody else, and
Right.
it's like, the thing just said Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I said, and, I've joined the lives when I wasn't even there. And this,
Mm-hmm.
and it said Adam, and they're like, no, he's not here. He's not here tonight. And I was like, I'm on the live, and which is crazy to me that they can actually, did they sense that I came on and, have the energy, which is kind of nuts. But,
Yeah.
I love the Hourglass. It is, I've heard different dates here and there when they said it was built, but somewhere between 1908 and 1912. Couple of books have it at 1912. I think the back part's a little older because you can definitely see the split in the building.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit older, but for sure 1912. And the oldest working elevator, that old
Mm-hmm.
freight elevator, for
That
sure it
thing
looks like.
scares me.
Well, it kind of looks like something off the Green Mile. You wouldn't want to.
Right.
Don't roll on 2. You don't touch that and that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You won't make it.
Right.
I wouldn't want to carry all that stuff up the stairs to the third floor either. So,
Yeah.
but from all the investigations, y'all have been there. We've had a couple of other groups that
Hmm.
have come by there, and they've all said the same thing. That they can feel it, and they've gotten evidence. But nothing ever bad. I've never felt anything that was bad
Bad there.
there.
Right.
So the one on the third floor, you went down the right side, that one room when all the antiques were there, you could stand in front of the door and it would just pulse. You could make your hairs raise up on your arms
It
just
would. Yeah.
standing in front of the door. Which it didn't matter. I would take people up there all the time, and they wouldn't believe me. I was like, "Go stand in front of the door if you want."
Yeah.
They would just look down at their arms and go, "I cannot believe that." But after all the antiques left, were moved out, I never felt that really energy anymore. Kind of depressing. I kind of enjoy it in a weird way of, feeling the energy and kind of knowing something's there. And, I talk to them all the time. They think I'm crazy. I walk in the morning, I'm like, "What's going on, everybody?" And just kind of let them know that, I don't mean them any harm, and
No.
I'm good with them. And, we've even had some crazy things happen where a guy broke in and,
Recently?
Probably 6 months ago.
What?
And he obviously was on drugs of some sort.
Yeah.
But every mirror or anything that he saw, he said people were chasing him, and he smashed the mirrors. He cut himself up so bad, I don't know how he didn't bleed to death.
Oh,
Uh,
Lord.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and then went on the second floor. The cops, he called the police and said, "Please come help me. They're chasing me. They're going to get me." And he jumped out the second floor in the chapel,
Oh,
Wow.
my
busted out one of
God.
the windows, jumped out the second floor, like landed on the awning, then hit the
Wow.
hard concrete. They ended up life flighting him. But that added some interesting energy to the building.
Well, that's
Uh,
amazing. I mean, for the criminal to call the police and say to come
oh, I mean,
get
he
me, they're
was
going to get
like
me.
screaming, "They are chasing me! They are coming to get me!" And I said, "I don't know. You broke
Wow.
into there because he smashed through the front glass, the 100-something-year-old glass, that
Oh, my
that front
God.
door.
Oh,
You can't replace that, and it's kind of
oh no. That's sick.
upsetting. But
Yeah.
kicked through it and came inside, and I guess he instantly regretted it because I guess the spirits got after him because that's all he was telling the cops is they're chasing me, they're going to get me, going to get me. Enough for you to jump out the window on the second story
Right.
is nuts. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's I've seen everything in that place from shadows and some crazy feelings and but for the most part, I encourage, anybody that's around, you come through Bruton, stop by the restaurant. I'll take you on a little tour, and you can go look at it, and we'll walk around. I enjoy telling the history of the building and
Yeah.
sort of, and I try not to tell anybody where the hot spots are, because I want to see
Yeah.
if they can feel them or pick up on them.
Right.
But like I said, I've sat up there a couple of nights in the pitch black on the third floor, just like doing recordings and stuff. And we've heard some crazy things, and y'all caught some crazy things with the power saw,
Yeah.
like when the sawmill and
Yep. The buzz
some of the
saw, and then
Yeah.
a little boy screamed right after the buzz saw started.
Mm.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
the photos on the third floor with the green eyes,
Yep.
that y'all took from out front. So it's certainly got a lot of history and a lot of interesting facts. So I enjoy it. And,
Yeah. I had
well,
somebody, I put some of the pictures out on our page, and I had somebody respond back to it, and they said that was a raccoon, the green eyes. And I laughed when I read it, and then I typed back a text to them and said, well, if that's raccoon eyes, I said, that has to be about a 6-foot raccoon.
Oh yeah, because those windows are elevated,
Yeah.
and looking at from that angle, um, that far down from all the way to third floor, like I said, they'd have to be a 6-7 foot raccoon, so
Exactly. Yes. We know what it was because we were
that's right.
there and we've experienced it. And we've even had spirits on EVP speaking in German. We have had them call Adam, call me, all kinds of things that you guys just wouldn't believe on EVP sessions. And then also, I have a picture somewhere in my archives in my phone here of Miss Anna. She actually formed on the brick wall where I could actually see her one night when I was talking to her. Do y'all still have her rocking chair?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, you
It's
better
been
not have gotten rid of
reupholstered.
it.
Yeah, we reupholstered it so it looks nice for her, but
Okay.
that thing still kind of sits over in the corner, and
Yep.
it's funny that no one ever goes by it or messes with it. It's like I don't know
Mhm.
if it just gives off that juju or something, but
She don't want anybody sitting in it, near it, touching it, or anything. That is her chair, and she will get on you if you mess with her chair.
and I think that's probably one of the two things I guess when we first opened was the lady in black.
Yep.
Everybody saw her.
Yep.
And one of my black prep girls, Jackie, she wouldn't even hardly go over there because she came over there and she's like, "Hey, there was some lady in a black dress over in the hourglass." And I started laughing. I was like, "Did you see the lady in black?" She's like, "That wasn't a real lady." And I was like, "No, Jackie, why would there be
Wow.
anybody over there, at 6 o'clock in the morning in a black dress?" And she was
In the
like,
black.
"Yeah, she just couldn't believe it." She was just like, "What?" And
Yep.
she didn't like going over there very much, but like I said, I never got any bad feelings over there at all. Um, I guess the pictures of, I guess it kind of looked like the little boy that was sitting on the steps in between. I think it was the first and second floor. Was kind of looking around the banister.
Yeah.
I always thought that. Never understood the one with the kind of full apparition with the black block over his face.
Yes, the one that we captured. I never understood that one either.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a weird. If you're going to have, full white, and then why have like a big black block over your face was kind of,
Yep.
interesting. And,
And
wonder what kind
that's
of symbolism that was all about, and
yeah.
then the little kid's shadows,
Yeah.
that looked like it was running across in front of the banister.
Yep.
So
We
I mean,
caught
there's
that.
been some outstanding, evidence, and there was a team that came from, I want to say, Jacksonville. They were called Blackwater Paranormal, something like that. Somehow or another, through marriage and cousins, whatever, supposedly were kin to me.
Yeah.
Very nice, people, and they came in there, and they didn't catch anything right till the end. But something turned one of their cameras like completely around, and
Yeah.
then said something kind of in a mumbled voice right in the mic. It's like, it's like
Oh
couldn't really hear
wow.
what it said, but it was just like, what in the world was that? It's like I haven't
Yeah.
heard that one before. So it seems like something new all the time. If you're open to it, and if
Yeah.
you're closed off, then you're probably
Yeah.
going to write it off to coincidence or just an old building.
Yeah.
Mr. Larry, to me, he doesn't believe very much in it. But when right after his wife passed and he was staying up there every night, he was angry all the time. And I tried to tell him
Yeah.
I thought, that he had an attachment and was being oppressed and stuff. And he, I ain't never heard nothing. Of course, a couple of years later, he says, well, I did hear this and I did hear that. And I was like, you just don't want to admit it.
Right.
But when you hear, like I said, oh, well, there's some kids or something talking and giggling, and, so I'm not sure what you thought that was, because there wasn't no
Yep.
kids on the second or third floor.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but it
Well,
is.
you
I
have,
remember we had hopefully that, we have some more groups. And like I said, we're open for anybody to
yeah.
come and come and visit us. And Mr. Larry doesn't mind if groups stay overnight. He's always, as much as he said he doesn't believe it, he's also open
Right.
to letting people. And that's a lot of trust to me. I don't know who these people are, but we're going to let them stay in our building overnight. And
Yeah. Well,
it has been
Right.
a long time since I've seen any orbs. I remember the one time we were kind of in City View, and it looked like orbs were sort of flying from the second floor up to the third floor, and kind of down that right hallway.
yeah.
We used to see that a good, kind of good bit, and you always see some light
Yeah.
up there that you couldn't ever explain, but that's kind of few and far between now. Like I said, I've stared at that piano up there in the chapel, but it's never played yet. So I'm not
It
sure what I would
played
do.
for us one night when we were there on an investigation. We heard about 3 notes off of the piano, and we went straight to the piano. And of course, it had stopped by then and never played again. But we did hear 3 chords that were played from the piano one of the nights that we were there.
It is definitely a beautiful old piano, and
Oh, yeah,
I've always looked
definitely.
at it every time I go by it. I'm like, this thing's going to go off in a minute. It's going to start playing, but it just gives me a vibe. I'm looking at it going, come on
Yeah,
now.
it has a definite vibe to it, definitely.
But for me, the crazy enough, the only full bodied apparition I've ever seen was over on the Camp 31 side. Prepping in on a Sunday morning. I was there probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was just chopping away, and I saw somebody walk past the kitchen doors going over towards the bathrooms. And I saw, and I think we were serving Alabama Power. We had like 300 for breakfast that morning, and so I was like, oh, I know Mr. Larry's, going to be here in a minute. And about
Yeah.
that time, he walked around the corner, and I was like, did you just come in? I said, yeah. Anybody with you? No. I was like, I was like, well, so I just saw somebody walk. It was enough that I walked to the bathroom and checked to see if anybody was in there.
Right.
And I mean, it just looked like a kind of an older guy and a pair of khakis or something, and just walked right past. And when I
Wow.
looked up, I was like, was that somebody? What was that? So it's but you get glimpses of Anna and sort of shadows of the lady in black over in the hourglass, but that was like the
Yeah.
first that I had seen. Just like, wow, that was
Yeah.
somebody just walked by the door.
Miss Anna, I have to say, she's the best. If you're able to make contact with spirits of that sort, you'll love Miss Anna. I do. I connected with her first off whenever first time that we came to you and we did a walkthrough with you. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up at you and I said, because I had gotten the name Anna, I said, "Who is Miss Anna?" And that's whenever we first discovered her in her rocking chair. But she is how do you describe Miss Anna? Let's see. She is very proper uh, woman, elder. She's up in age, not too far up in age, but I'd say late 70s, early 80s, and she don't put up with much. She if
No,
you
yeah,
especially if you get to her chair, don't touch her chair. That's whenever Miss Anna gets upset. So
like I said, I've seen a pack of hamburger buns fly off, and kind of
yep,
it's like, that was. Like I said, some things you can't just explain. I've seen some glasses in City View kind of slide across the bar.
yep,
Um, that'll make you stop in your tracks and kind of have to evaluate. But like I said, I've never felt anything bad, so I'm not worried about
no, No,
them
they're
hurt
not
me.
malicious
I
at
might
all.
hurt myself trying to get away or something,
Well,
Yeah,
but
they're
I
just
enjoy it. We actually, a friend of mine just opened it's called Burnham's Pizza Company, on the boardwalk, and it's in one of the really old buildings. And he was telling me about hearing marbles hit the floor and rolling up on the second story of his. And so some of
I've
my
had
other
that
chicken
happen here.
friends,
Yeah, in my house, we were sitting watching TV one night and we heard a marble like hit the floor in the kids' bedroom. And that marble came rolling out of the bedroom and across the walkway here, where the staircase is and stuff, and came straight through the banisters and right down in mine and my husband's lap while we were watching TV. And me and him looked at each other and he says, "Where did
hmm.
that come from?" I'm like, "Well, it come from upstairs." So,
So, and it's one of the old buildings downtown. It's one of the original buildings. And, he just he has a couple of brick oven in
yeah,
there, some really good pizza. But I told him, I said, well, if you don't care, I said, I'm going to come up there and live stream one night,
right.
and just, see if I can capture some stuff. And one or two of my friends were like, oh, we'll come up there. And a couple of my friends like, that's all you, buddy. But, I ain't down with that, so, um, but I enjoy it. Like I said, I've always felt like I kind of could sense thing even from a little kid, because we had some property out in Pollard, Alabama, which is really old. And um, that's probably where I had my first experience ever. Some people nowadays would probably call it sleep paralysis or whatever, but I felt something coming to my room. And when I went to turn over to look, something jammed me down on the bed and held me there
Whoa.
until I was kind of screaming. And finally, I got up, and it took me about a month before I ever slept in that room. I slept on the couch for about a month until my mom was like, go sleep in your room. Ain't nothing in there. And I was like, oh yeah, there is too. I don't know what it is, but there's something in there.
Yeah.
Um, and it was all, it was old. We had 110 acres out in Pollard, and there was a bunch of old kind of Indian stuff all around there. And
Oh, I love that.
we had an artesian well in our yard.
Mm.
So I guess if you go by, fresh flowing water and
Hey, Sandra.
electricity and everything, moving through that, it was that was a crazy, crazy area out there. But I loved Pollard. I was growing up because we had so much room to go do whatever we wanted on it. We'd go out to the old cemeteries and scare ourselves to death, and because there were some old like Civil War graves out there. So there was some really seriously old stuff, and some
Right.
that were above ground had been cracked open, and we got kind of close, but never got the guts up to go look down in it, and see what might have been in some of those. But I was like, I don't know. I said, was it open when we got here, or did it open since we got here? And they were like, no, I think it was already open. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going over there. But it has the first house I ever moved out of, when I kind of moved out of the house, was some friends of mine that I worked at work. And the lady was like, well, some girls tennis players moved out suddenly, so it's open if y'all want it. We were there about a week, and watching Arsenio Hall. So if you know how long ago that was.
Oh my God, yes.
And we're laughing, and I'm laughing and carrying on. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I look over there, and there's a little guy standing there in a brown tweed suit and a little hat. And he just looked at me and turned around and walked back down the hallway. And I got up and walked down the hall, and it was freezing cold.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I don't know what that was, but I left and went to my grandparents' house. So I told my grandmother, I said, man, I told her what happened. She's like, oh, that's Mr. McCormick. He died of leukemia. I said, that's his house. You
Oh,
know, and
wow.
whenever I said brown tweed, like suit and hat, she said, that's all that old man ever wore. You know, so like
Wow.
she knew who
Wow.
I was talking about.
Yeah.
But it was unnerving, you know, because I was
Yeah.
probably 19, just graduated high school and was going to college, you know, and moved out, you know, like you think you want to be an adult, but then you get bills in, you're like, I should have stayed at home. But that house still to this day, no one stays in that house very long.
Mm.
They've remodeled it and it looks all nice and stuff, but you know, and I've tried to talk to some people who live there. You know, when I found out they're like, "Yeah, we don't like that house." And I said, "Oh, is it the back, you know, room on the left?" They're like, "We don't even go in that room," and
Yeah.
it's just that room is so cold all the time. It was, you know, very weird place, and you know, Bruton's just got so many. To me, it's almost like a little Savannah, Georgia, because we have Fort
Yeah.
Crawford Cemetery that has been known as to be one of the most haunted cemeteries around. I hear all the time people talking about they see people walking around in there.
Mm.
So that might be next time y'all come to town. I'll take y'all over there and we'll go walk around
Yeah.
and
That'd be great.
see what we can find. And you know, with the Holly House, and you know, I know it was the first hospital in Bruton, so you know it saw a lot of deaths and a lot of births and
Yeah. We
um,
would love
a
to
lot
do
of
that
you know
too.
there's one room they just call it the surgery room. You know, so you know that's where you know there was a lot of different traumas in that room for sure.
Yeah.
Then it was an old folks home for a while, so you know there's probably a lot of passings there. Um, I hope Miss Deborah would let us, you know, come and stay because I've always said that the paranormal, you know, society and the groups and everything they support each other. You know, if you're on
Hmm.
the map, it's something paranormal there. They'll come stay there. Just you know, kind of like a little Savannah. You know, so I
Yeah.
hope that we can, you know, grow Bruton. And that's why I invite everybody to come to the Hourglass. You know, because it is such a beautiful place and you'll have a good time and enjoy yourself. And
I love
um,
Bruton. Yeah.
that's right. You know, so there's a lot of nice stuff in Bruton.
Hmm.
You know, not a lot of bars or anything like that, but a whole lot of churches. Uh,
I love that old Gothic looking church there with the ivy all over the front of it.
oh yeah. I mean, that
Oh,
is.
it's beautiful.
I think it was originally a Lutheran church. You know,
Mm.
now it's
It's
some kind
gorgeous.
of non-denominational, but that ivy has been there
Hmm.
as long as I can remember, since I
Yeah.
was a kid. But I grew up a Cubs fan, you know, so I'll be loving some ivy.
Right.
And, yeah, so
Yeah, it's beautiful. Every time I go over that way, I make sure that I drive past the church because I just absolutely love that type of building and the structures and stuff. And it draws me every time I go over there. So there's something special about that church as well.
it is. I would have to think it's probably one of the oldest in Bruton for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and that, and probably the Alco Methodist, which is now I'm not sure what it is, maybe a play school now, and it has a cemetery right across from it. You know, and I remember
Yeah.
I know it was back in the 1800s that Alco Methodist Church was the first Methodist church in Bruton, and um, there's a lot of Civil War headstones in that cemetery as well. You know, and you can ride by and get a creepy vibe from it for sure. So,
Yeah, definite.
um, but you know, I don't know.
It's Bruton is just a quaint little town that does not get the recognition that it deserves because it holds a lot of history with all of the buildings and stuff in it. And I love Bruton. I love coming up there every time that we take a trip up there to come to Camp 31 to get us some good food. We just ride around and look around before we leave town, you know, and it's just a beautiful little place to me. And if you've never been there, if you're local anywhere around close to Bruton, and take a drive, take a Saturday and just go out and do some sightseeing and stop at Camp 31 and get you some good food and just enjoy the ambiance of Bruton. Because, like I
You
said, it's
know,
a quaint little town.
coming up in June. I want to say it's the second weekend in June. We always have the Blueberry Festival.
Oh gosh,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, that is huge with purveyors. And last year, the classic car show, there was 254 cars.
Wow.
I mean, I saw some of the most beautiful, cars I have ever seen. Just absolutely the time and how meticulous these people are with shining. There's even mirrors are shining up underneath it. And it's spotless underneath. So there certainly with that. And somebody
Right.
said they were going to have some sort of characters or some sort of strange things walking around during the Blueberry Festival. I'm not
Kind
sure.
of cosplayers.
Some sort of cosplay things,
Yeah.
and we're going to have some new food trucks that are around Bruton. They're going to be there. A friend of mine, Crystal Pence, I believe, is going to have her new food truck down there, Riff Raff, and
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Riff Raff.
yeah. So it's really good. We have the full moon like jam that they have a big concert coming up. Bruton is kind of. We have what's the other one? There's one that's they do. It's kind of November-ish that they close down Bevel Avenue, which is the historic road that goes to all the antebellum homes, and everybody has concerts in their front yard. And there's just like they'll have like William Golden and them were in there.
Oh yeah.
Last year they had a Prince tribute guy that you would have thought it's Prince. That guy was really spectacular.
That's awesome.
So we have a lot of things, and they're doing more and more.
That's in November, you said?
They even have reenactments down in Jennings Park with some of the French and Indian War stuff, So
yeah,
very historic town. But I can take you to 10 different homes probably that. A friend of mine, Mike's house, I probably would not stay at his house because it definitely has poltergeist. Because to me, whenever all the drawers in his kitchen slam open and shut and
I want to see that.
Around,
Oh boy, I'd love to see that.
He recently told me that he woke up and like one corner over in his room is kind of dark and shadow, and he's like, I just knew someone was over there, and I said, hello. He said, I heard two kids laugh and run out of my room. He's like, I just threw the blanket over my head, went back to sleep. He said he's gotten used. He was at his grandmother's house and passed down from generation to generation. And unfortunately, he had some health issues where he said, I got a free house. I can't afford to move. I can't buy nothing else. And he said, I'm just here, so I just got to deal with them. And he said it gets irritating sometimes, but first time I ever walked in his house, I was like, what's wrong with your house, bro? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I said, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's when he just kind of opened up and told me, some of the things. So
you can't fool me, dude. I can feel it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And there is it's not a very nice feeling. I'll have to talk to him. He's pretty down with it, I might can get y'all a few places to go.
Tell him if he gets tired of the things that are going on and he needs help passing them over. I've got Sister Sandy on the team, and she's wonderful at helping the spirits to cross over. So
I'm sure
he wouldn't mind it, right?
I know I wouldn't.
I hear you. They can get kind of annoying if they are poltergeist. There's poltergeist activity like that, and things keep happening and everything. Then they're definitely upset about something, and we could probably find out what that is and help the spirits to become more relaxed and willing to coexist with him. And if not, then Sister Sandy can always help pass them over. So tell him that we're here, and if he needs us,
that's
let
right.
him know. Let him know to get in touch with us.
I don't want to say anything on here, but about what you had mentioned to me, I guess a week or so ago.
Yeah.
If that's good with us. If that's follows through with that kind of that filming or what have you.
That's perfect because we have been approved and
Oh,
they
no.
are just waiting on us. So that's a go. So I will definitely get up with you and we will do that.
Well, that's awesome. To me, that's just a little more. I guess it gives a little more allure or something. To
Yeah.
come see us, and to me, like I said, it's just a beautiful old building and such a because I have been uh, up in Kentucky.
Yeah.
What's that, Waverly? Is that what's in one
Waverly in Kentucky. Yeah.
Kentucky? And then I lived right outside Branson, Missouri, and Kimberlin City, Missouri. And there was an old hospital there that was shut down, but you could get in. And we were walking around there, and I felt like somebody grabbed my hand and was holding my hand. Made me feel like I was a kid because it wasn't up high. It was kind of, my hand was down by my side.
Yeah.
And those kind of freaked me out. And it was really, really intense. Um, especially Waverly. Anybody that's been there, that's
I
just
have
an
not
intense
been.
place.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
not been. That's on my bucket list for the Paranormal Sisterhood to go to. Mary's been, and she said it's off the chain. She
it
loves
is.
it.
We just did one of the little tours they offer, and this was in the middle of the day. This wasn't at night or anything.
Wow.
It was there's definitely, if you go there and say, "Oh, ain't nothing there," you're just lying to yourself,
Yeah.
and you don't want
Yeah.
to believe it, because it was definitely. And Stephanie and I want to, my wife and I want to go St. Augustine and
Mhm.
Savannah. Do some of the bread and breakfast and some of the tours, and because she enjoys it just as much as I do. She don't want to
Yeah,
admit
I've
it,
been
but
to Savannah. Savannah's off the chain as far as activity. Yeah, it's
that's
it's a
right.
great place. Yeah.
And as a chef, I want to go taste some of the great food that's over there, and
Oh yeah.
I enjoy that. So, and some of the bread and breakfast, and um, St. Augustine. I wish I could play golf. I don't think my shoulder will let me do it, but some of the tours down there and some of the gorgeous old homes that are there, just would love to go roam around in for a little while.
Hey, Sylvia, can you read Sandra's? Uh,
Yeah, she said that my grandmother's old farmhouse was haunted.
oh yeah, old farmhouses we love too.
I was
Yeah.
gonna Adam, the activities you were talking about going on in Bruton, like the Blueberry Festival and the music festival kind of thing you were talking about. If someone wanted to find out about those, can they Google like the Bruton Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, the
Do they
Chamber of
expect?
Commerce. It'll be on there on Facebook. It'll be on Bruton Reborn.
Okay.
They post all of those. Even in October, they have the witches, for charity, witches ride, which they all
Oh,
drive down historic, downtown Bruton, and stuff like that. So, um,
I
it's
went to
amazing. Most of the time, we have a rodeo here, certain times a year, twice a year. So we really have a lot going on. The
that's
Arts and
great.
Crafts Festival. So, uh, to me, Bruton is, like I said, just a great little small town to grow up
Mhm.
in. I left Bruton and experienced life, and then when I wanted to slow back down, I came back home, and been here about 10 years now, and I'm glad I made the move. I've lived in Miami, lived in Orlando, Sarasota, Birmingham. I've lived in all the big cities I want. I prefer my little slow, easy living, Bruton by all means.
I
Right.
think that happens to us as we get older. We get over the excitement of the city. We want to get back to something that feels like home for sure. The other question I had was it Anna? Were you saying that Anna was the lady in Camp
The Lady
31?
in Black, yeah, she's in the
Yeah.
Hourglass.
Is that like, was there an Anna affiliated with the family that owned the business, or is she just someone that happens to be there, or was part of some of the antiques that were there? Does anybody know how
I don't know
she?
if we know the story. One person had said they felt like because she's always up at the front of the building by the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that she was there, possibly, waiting for somebody to come on the train, because just has that kind of that longing feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
And,
guess she's still waiting and sitting in that rocking chair.
Mhm.
and it was, originally it was, several old, like a strawberry packing plant. Then they built coffins there on the third floor.
Yep.
Different things for a while, and then Luttrell Hardware came in. Um, and I'm not sure if that's not possibly because I want to say the Luttrells might be the German side of where things are coming from.
Yeah, we think
Uh,
so. Yeah.
but
We
I don't think.
researched a lot of stuff about the building, and there's so much history on the building that we were able to come up with. I mean, it's hard to say which ghost is what from where, because there's just an eclectic group of spirits that are there.
And it's
It, it,
been so many different things as
yeah,
well that
yeah,
there's all this residual stuff left behind. But
yeah.
I was just kind of curious. Maybe she had some affiliation with the family, or I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, we caught on SLS one night when the old Shadow Chasers team was there, and we got Steven. We had taken and put two of Camp 31 steel tables or rollers, carts together to kind of make like a gurney. And we got
Hmm.
Steven to lay down on it, and we took one of the tablecloths and covered him over like he was dead. And we got on SLS spirits that came, and one of them looked like they were working on him, maybe getting him ready to go in a coffin or something. It was crazy. That was such good evidence that we were able to witness. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, a lot.
And the railroad runs. I mean, just yards from the front of the building,
Sure
and
does.
Bruton is surrounded by two creeks and a river. And
Yep.
is actually below sea level.
Murder
Uh,
Creek.
Burnt Corn Creek, Murder Creek, and the Escambia River.
Hmm.
So we have a lot of water and a lot of energy that is coming through there. I think a lot. So I think it adds to the them being able to get the strength to show themselves
Right.
and things like
Well,
that.
water is a conduit, and it will attract energy like that because rolling water is constantly moving, and it creates energy, so the spirits are drawn to that energy, and any energy that they can get, even drawing energy off of our batteries. I will go to an investigation with brand new batteries and everything, each one of our pieces of equipment, and then when we get there and we start taking them out, boom, the batteries are drained automatically. I have bought so many batteries, and I'm sure that any paranormal group out there will say this. I have bought so many batteries for the team and for our equipment till I need to own stock in batteries. I'm not joking. Every time I go into Walmart, they see me and they'll go, "This way, Miss White." I think we lost Adam.
Uh-oh. I think we
Uh,
need.
Ruh-roh.
Well, it's about 10:15 anyway, I guess. But
Yes, it is. We were just fixing to end all this. Is there someone else there that
it was awesome
commented?
saying
Austin, okay. Okay.
experience there. It's truly active, talking about Camp 31.
Yes, it is. It is truly active. Well, Stan, do you know if we lost Adam? If you can hear me?
Nope, there
There
he.
he is.
All right. I don't know what happened. It went black on my end all of a sudden, and I was like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know what just happened, but I
well,
logged
we
back
lost.
out and went back on the link, and came back on, so I guess it
There
worked.
you go. Well, we lost Mary earlier, but she said that she had to skip out kind of early because she had some other things to happen that she needed to take care of. So that's understandable. But then we lost you, and I'm like, oh, where's Adam? So, well, we're fixing to end the show, Adam. It's 10:16. And we appreciate you coming on, brother. It's been interesting talking to you. And we had some other pictures of some new evidence. You remember the day that I came in with my husband, and then Mary and her husband, and they had never been into the hourglass. So you let me walk over there with them, and we were just snapping some pictures. We got this huge, and I mean, it's a succession of photos, one right after the other, about a huge green orb about that big, and it moved in each photo. So we have all of that to show you, brother, next time. Oh, there's one. There it is.
Oh,
Do you see it?
nice. I do see it.
Yeah. That was amazing. And that was just up the stairs. But it moved in every photo that we caught. See it moved. It's on the banister right there. And then it moved over to the other side. But we didn't feel anything bad with it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we felt really good about it. And it's just spirits there that are locked in time. And they want recognition. They want you to talk to them and acknowledge them. And it makes them feel gratitude or grateful for you being able to see them, and interact with them. What did Sandra say? I can't read it.
She said, "Thank you. Thoroughly enjoyed listening to you all."
Oh, thank you,
Well, thank
sweetheart.
y'all. I
We
appreciate y'all
appreciate it.
having me in. I'm always, available most of the time.
Okay.
I'm over next door. If anybody wants to, stop by and take a walk through, I'll be happy to take you next door, and hopefully you can feel a little something and enjoy yourself. And
And
if nothing
enjoy the
else,
good food.
you'll
Yeah.
leave, a little bit fatter and feeling all happy.
Definitely on that, and a little bit fatter, that's for sure, because you have fed me and some of my team members for years now that we've known you, and everything you've ever done for the team, Adam. We appreciate you, brother. And
Thank y'all.
I've certainly sent a lot of people up your way, and every one of them that's gone, friends and stuff like that, they come back and they tell me how good it is. So we'll definitely keep coming up. And we want to get with you and let the Paranormal Sisterhood come in and do an investigation up there too.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll get with you on some dates as soon as I can round up all the sisters. And Sylvia and I, our schedule's pretty much open, but it's Mary and Sandy that travel a lot. And I'll have to get with them on their dates when they're available. And we'll just come up there and do an investigation, because I'd love the sisterhood to be able to experience some of the things that I've been privy to experience up there. It's really great.
Enjoy it. Like I said, it's a fun old building.
Yes, it is, very much so. And also, it's a floodable area. Remember when
that's
it was
definitely
completely flooded?
Oh yeah, it flooded up to almost the third floor.
Yeah,
back in
that was
29.
Crazy.
1929. There's actually like a picture like of the Bank of Bruton, and there's a cow on top of the Bank of Bruton. I guess it swam, and that's where it's able to get.
Yeah.
Not sure how they got it out now in those days, but probably wasn't good for the cow.
No, I imagine that cow was freaking out. Well, if y'all want to pick up on the history of Bruton, I imagine you can Google Bruton, Alabama, and pull up the history on the place. It's a quaint little town, beautiful, full and rich of old history and all different kinds of things, old architecture. And oh my God, I mean, you got to go by the church and see the church over there. I love that. And go by Camp 31, see Adam, tell him that Paranormal Sisterhood show sent you there. And y'all just enjoy a beautiful weekend. There's a bed and breakfast there too, right, Adam?
The Holly House.
Yeah, okay. The Holly House has a beautiful old bed and breakfast that you could just
Gorgeous.
rent a room there and spend the weekend in Bruton. I guarantee you, you would
That's
not
right.
be disappointed. Okay,
And
but Adam,
the guy that wrote Beetlejuice is from Bruton too.
oh really?
Yeah,
Hey, that's a good piece of information right there.
that just means
He
we're
wrote.
all weird.
Ah, hey, weird is good. I
I
would
like
rather
it.
be weird any day of the week than to be normal. You
What's
know,
normal?
I know what is normal.
Normal's boring.
Right, brother? Well,
All
it
right, well, y'all
has
have
been
a great
so
evening,
good.
and thank you again, and I appreciate y'all.
You are most welcome, Adam, and thank you for being on the show with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Sylvia, did you want to say something?
No, I just said thank you, Adam. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all
we
much.
appreciate you so much, and we'll be seeing you real soon
Oh
because
yeah,
I got to come up and get some more of that delicious seafood, and I want a steak. I want a steak so bad.
everybody's been looking good too.
Oh, I know they are. We'll be seeing you real soon. And
All right,
thank everybody for listening to us tonight. God bless y'all. We appreciate you and love you. Thank you for all of our sponsors. And please write down September the 14th and the 15th. We got the Deep South Paracomic Con horror themed coming up, and you do not want to miss that, you guys. And there is the Deep South Paracomicon.com that you can go to and find out the information on the Paracomic Con this year. Okay. Well, God bless everybody. Good night. And the Paranormal Sisterhood will see you next week. Thanks, Adam.
Good night.